Hello friends, we are just starting with concepts related to materials costing. We are talking about how there is material cost control created in a manufacturing organization. Now this materials control material cost control can be done under three different stages. That is what we will study in this topic. Number one, A, purchase control. At the stage of purchasing, we want to have cost control. It's not at the cost of quality. We want perfect quality at minimum possible cost. That is what we will study under purchase control. Second, stores control. We need to ensure that when the material is with us in storeroom, it should be properly managed so that there are no excessive losses there. You have to maintain their proper quantities, no excess, no deficit. You want to ensure there are no problems while the material is in store with you. Third one, issues control. When the store department issues it to production department, proper accounting should be done. Proper store ledger should be created. How the entries are recorded in store ledger, you will be taught in this issues control. Once issued, it becomes work in progress. It is no longer material, so it goes out of purview of material costing topic. So in material costing, we are studying in detail the three things: purchase control, stores control, and issues control. We reach the first component there, that is purchase control. Now in a company, there is a purchase department. Let us say I am purchase manager of a particular manufacturing company. I need to ensure that all materials are purchased with the right quantity, right quality, right price, at right point of time, and everything right. That is my duty. So under purchase control, you are going to study specifically what is the right quantity to purchase every time. You can write along with me. Under purchase control, the purchase department carries a duty to ensure that right quantity is purchased from right supplier at right price and at right point of time. So what are the things which should be right? Quantity, we'll study here, which is called economic order quantity. We'll study after 5 minutes. Right supplier, I need to make a list of suppliers and check who are having a better past, who are having a good track record, who are supplying proper quality of material, who are not having any big defectives. So I should maintain that list. At right price, I should compare all the competitive prices and do the strategic purchasing. Proper price should be taken. Right point of time. Here the question arises, when to purchase. This will be answered in second category of material control, that is store control. Under store control, there will be a level called reorder level. That will tell me right point of time when I should be purchasing. Reorder level. We'll study that separately in store control. So these are all the things which are under duty of a purchase department. Now next concept here, cost to be considered while deciding right quantity. What are the costs that I should consider while deciding right quantity? I'll give you an example. Understand the example which will help you understand the types of cost involved. Let us say I am made purchase manager in a company and my planning department, my budgeting department tells me that we will be needing 12 lakh kg of material in full year. 12 lakh kg of material in full year. I have 10 suppliers possible. I check their quality, track record, everything. I analyze and reach 2 different suppliers with whom I can contact and try to get the supply. So I fix up some meeting with them. Supplier 1, supplier 2. First person comes, he says we can supply you any quantity, let it be 1 crore kg at 1 per kg, rupees 1 per kg. So he says he can give me one-time supply at the rate of 1 per kg. He tells all terms and conditions, payment to be made, pay within 1 month of supply. They are payment terms. He explains all these things and goes away. I do not commit with him because I am yet to talk to second supplier. Second supplier comes, he says 12 lakh kg instantly at one go we are unable to provide. But we can alternatively provide 1 lakh kg per month. Monthly supply 1 lakh kg at the rate of rupees 1 per month, per unit, sorry. Rupees 1 per unit, per kg rather. Pay within 1 month of supply on monthly basis. First month I don't pay anything, he gives me supply. Next month I'll pay him 1 lakh check for last month and he'll give me more supply. Every month you keep on paying 1 lakh, 1 lakh, 1 lakh, 1 lakh. for 12 months you will be paying. In 13th month you will be clearing all the yearly payment which was pending. So this is second supplier, he is also going. Now I am sitting in my cabin comparing these two things. First cost that comes to my mind, purchase cost. Let me call it annual purchase cost. Here is rupees 12 lakh. Here is also rupees 12 lakh. Now annual cost is same because it is 1 per kg for 12 lakh kg. This might be paid on monthly basis, but total amount is same. Total is 12 lakh and 12 lakh. Am I able to decide which one is better? No. If first supplier had come later, I would have asked him bulk quantity discount. Earlier supplier is giving me this rate at 1 lakh kg, you are giving me at 12 lakh kg, so give me some discount, give me at 99 paisa or 98 paisa. Then the cost will become relevant. This purchase cost is not relevant for this decision because 1 rupee per kg is same rate. Second thing that comes to my mind, annual carrying, holding, storage cost. These are three names for same thing. The most common that we will be using is carrying cost. Carrying cost, holding cost, storage cost. I am writing examples for that. Examples. Store rent. Let us say in one storeroom, I can store 1 lakh kg. 1 lakh kg. In first option, instantly 12 lakh kg are coming. I need 12 storerooms on rent. Then after 1 month, 11. Then after 1 month, 10 and so on. In second option, for second supplier, I take 1 room on rent and use it throughout the year. I don't need to store bigger quantity because they are supplying in smaller quantity. So store rent is an example of carrying cost. Here it is high, here it is low. Store related costs. Other than rent, there are many other costs. Electricity there. There might be usage of what? Cooling and all. Cooling system, they cost you quite a lot. In 12 warehouses, lot more cost. In one warehouse, lesser cost. Storekeeper requirement, 1 storekeeper, 12 storekeeper, many other costs are there. Insurance of stock. I need to have policy of higher amount in first option because my risk oriented material is of higher quantity. In second option, lesser stock, lesser risk, lesser premium. So insurance premium higher here, lower here. Very important. Interest cost on borrowed funds. If the funds are to be borrowed, I go to bank, I say I have to pay to my supplier. He says how much? 12 lakh today only. He gives me loan 12 lakh today. For full year he is charging interest on 12 lakh. In second option, I have to pay 1 lakh every month. First month I get a loan of 1 lakh. Interest paid for 12 months. Next month another 1 lakh. Interest paid for 11 months. Another 1 lakh. Interest paid 10 months. So interest will be lower here, higher here. If I am having owned funds, then opportunity cost or interest lost on owned funds. If I don't borrow, I am having my own money, I put that in FDR. In first case, 12 lakh FDR to be broken today for paying to my supplier. In second option, 1 lakh FD to be broken every month. So lesser interest lost. If I am having 12 lakh FD, there I will still earn interest on 11 lakh first month, 10 lakh second month. In first option, no interest will be earned, all interest will be lost. So interest loss is higher and lower. They are all examples which relate to one category called carrying cost, holding cost, storage cost, whatever name you take. This is only for your understanding. Remember, there is some carrying cost. Higher quantity of stock you carry, higher carrying cost. Lower you carry, lower carrying cost. So when you are getting supply at a lower quantity, you are having lower carrying cost. When you are getting huge quantity, huge carrying cost. As per this aspect, second option is better. But there is a contradictory third cost also. There is a third cost. Third cost is called annual ordering cost. We also call it buying cost, but it is different from purchase cost that we have discussed already. What are the examples there? Inward transportation cost. There is going to be one truck which is going to bring that material. Truck has capacity of 50 lakh kg, whatever. One truck for one trip charges me 10,000 rupees. In first option, annual cost 10,000 because one time it will come and deliver all the 12 lakh kg. In second option, it will come 12 times. Instead of 10,000, it will be 1,20,000. So this cost is lower here, higher here. Obviously, I should be bearing that cost. Only then it will come into picture here. If it is at cost of that company, the supplier, then I don't have anything to worry. Then it is not my cost at all. So inward transportation lower in first option, higher in second option. Toll tax. Per entry toll tax is there. One time 500 rupees. Option 1 annual cost 500, option 2 annual cost 6,000. Because 12 times you will have to pay the toll. Then octroi, if based on per entry, it should not be based on value. Ad valorem items will not come here, which are based on value. If it is per entry, it will come here. Documentation. Now this is more valid point when it comes to imported items, custom clearance. My advocate says every time I go to custom office and bring your materials or ownership documents, I will charge you 1,000. Every time there is material coming, he will charge me 1,000. So 1,000 in first option, 12,000 in second option. So any documentation which is on per order basis, I can generalize it. Any other cost incurred on per order basis. Lower here, higher here. What is the conclusion I am getting? Is option 1 good or option 2 good? I got the conclusion called confusion. Because one cost is higher, other is lower. Other cost is higher, the other is lower. So I am confused. Purchase cost did not disturb in this example. Carrying cost and ordering cost are always of opposite nature. If I try to save carrying cost, I end up incurring more of ordering cost. If I try to save ordering cost, I end up incurring more of carrying cost. So there is confusion. To solve the confusion, there is a formula that will be used to get economic order quantity. If there are two suppliers sort of thing, I'll explain you later. We can compute annual cost, whichever is total lower will be selected. That will reach later on. At the moment, you can write along with me. Economic order quantity EOQ refers to that level of purchase in units or in amount at which the total cost of ordering and carrying the inventory for a specific period bracket generally 1 year is minimum provided the purchase cost does not change. If purchase cost changes in the question related to quantity discounts, then purchase cost is also considered. Now EOQ formulas assume no changes in purchase cost per unit, implying no quantity discounts. No quantity discounts. Now formula EOQ in units, EOQ in rupees. In purchase control, exactly two formulas you are going to remember. I'll first concentrate on units. Under root 2 AB divided by C, where A is annual requirement in units, annual requirement of material. Now make it sure you are picking material. Sometimes they give you annual market demand, that is of the product. We are talking of material. Our chapter is named material. Later on we do economic batch quantity, that is of the product. That we'll study separately. B, buying cost per order. anything given per order. It is also called ordering cost. C is equal to carrying cost per unit of material bracket annual. Make it sure they are at same level. If first one is annual, last is also annual. If first one is monthly, last one is also monthly. First one is quarterly, last one is also quarterly. Preferably we'll do everything on annual basis. Answer will be same if you make it quarterly A and quarterly C. Answer will be same. But it should not happen that one thing is annual and one thing is quarterly or 6 monthly. That should not happen. So this is how you compute EOQ in units. Same way, EOQ in rupees. Formula. Sir, formula is same. How will answer be different? Answer will be different because A, B, C are different. Where specifically A and C are different, B is same. Annual requirement of material in rupees. Buying cost per order. Carrying cost of material in percentage. If it is 25%, I'll write 0.25. Now this is important. The differences you should be noting now. Here it is in rupees. Here it is in unit and per unit, sorry. Here it is in rupees and here it is in percentage. They are the differences to remember. Everything else is same. Obviously answer will be different. This is how to compute economic order quantity. What does that imply? If I get answer 20,000 units, it means if you are ordering every time 20,000, the total cost of ordering and carrying will be minimum. No other option can give you lower cost than 20,000 units purchased at a time in that question. So implication has to be understood. Question in second part says, if we order every time 18,000 or 25,000, then what will happen? You will show extra cost computation in tabular computation later. Make it sure EOQ is most cheapest and the best option to be selected. Optimal order quantity, economic order quantity, one and same thing. That is the formula that I have told you for EOQ. Going further, computation of annual costs. Three types of cost I am talking. Annual cost, annual purchase cost, annual purchase quantity multiply by purchase price per unit. In different options, purchase price can be different if there is a discount policy. So I should say respective purchase price per unit. In every option, you have to check how much is the purchase price applicable to you. Supplier says buy up to 20,000, no discount, 10 rupees per kg. After 20,000 till 50,000, there is 5% discount. So reduce that 5% discount here. You're getting net of discount purchase price if discount is applicable. Second, annual ordering cost. Very simple logical things. Number of orders in the year multiplied by ordering cost per order, which was B, buying cost per order. Number of orders for the year. If it is not given, number of orders in the year is equal to annual requirement in units divide by quantity per order. Divide by quantity per order. Preferably, do not approximate number of orders. Now, sometimes your institute module does approximate here. I will like you not to do it. If there are 2.5 orders, means in 2 years there are 5 orders. Annual average is still 2.5. If you order every year 3, you are ordering extra every year, which will not be consumed at all. So, preferably do not approximate. Let's not jump to answers and change a concept for that reason to reach a particular answer. Concept says do not approximate number of orders. Third point, annual carrying cost. Annual carrying cost. If given per unit, if given percentage. Equals quantity per order divided by 2 multiplied by carrying cost per unit. Now, this portion is called average inventory in units. This is quantity per order divided by 2 multiplied by purchase price per unit multiplied by percentage of carrying cost. And this part average inventory in rupees. Key thing to understand, carrying cost is not on opening stock, not on closing stock. It is on average stock, either in units or in rupees. Quantity per order divided by 2 gives me average inventory in units. If multiplied with purchase price per unit gives in rupees. The rupees item multiplied by percentage carrying cost gives you carrying cost, and if it is per unit will be on average inventory units. So, this is how to compute annual carrying cost. You need practice for this for sure. In exam, this is very common question with tabular presentation we will be doing later. What is annual total cost now? Last thing here. Annual total cost is equal to annual purchase cost, annual ordering cost, annual carrying cost. When purchase cost remains constant, means non-discount questions. We ignore annual purchase cost being irrelevant. Then annual total cost is equal to annual ordering cost plus annual carrying cost. These are ultimate concepts in purchase control. The next concept we reach is stores control. Now, under store control, we are trying to determine few stock levels. Determination of various stock levels for each material. Now, what are the stock levels we will be studying? Reorder level, minimum level, maximum level, average level, danger level. The meaning and formula of all of these you will understand today. But before I do that, I am just trying to explain few basic terms. Once you understand them, your base will be better and you will be able to apply these formulas in a better manner. I am writing few things here. Reorder level, reorder quantity, reorder period. Try to understand clear-cut distinction between these three. Students are often confused in 1 and 2. They are totally different, they are not same. So try to understand them clearly. Let us say in my production department, daily they are consuming 1000 kg of a material. 1000 kg. I have to order it from distant place. My factory is in North India, I have to get it from Chennai, South India. And it takes 10 days to reach. I give them order today, material I'll get after 10 days. Daily they are consuming 1000, 10 days it will take. So when my store level is 10,000, I should be ordering it for sure. 10 days I am saying average. Due to contingency, it may take a little more. Our great country may involve strikes, lockouts, any problem at factory level, transportation level, anywhere. So I should maintain extra stock. 4 days. 10 days it will take, 4 days extra I am keeping, 14,000 is the level when I should reorder. And when I am ordering them 20,000 units. 20,000 units. Now it defines all the three things. In my example, 14,000 is reorder level. 20,000 is reorder quantity. 10 days is reorder period. In my example, what it tells, reorder level is when should I place my order. How much quantity should be ordered. Here is a important link. In absence of information, this is ROQ. ROQ is equal to EOQ. If question is silent, compute ABC, apply that under root 2 AB by C and get economic order quantity. Reorder period is period within which order shall be received. You should never confuse specifically reorder level and reorder quantity. I am writing one more thing before I go on to the store level and their formulas. I am doing one more thing. Input data for stock levels. If you have to compute all stock levels, this is the input data you will require. Consumption per day, minimum, average, maximum. Lead time or reorder period in days. Minimum, average, maximum. Now remember one thing, level has to be same. Instead of per day, it can be per week, but then periods will be in weeks. It is consumption per month, then lead time will be in months. Level has to be same. There is no rectification that you need in days only. Important thing, average is, if not given, equals minimum plus maximum whole divided by 2. Only when not given. It's not compulsory that this formula is correct. But if it is not given, then it will be like this. Here also, if not given, then equals minimum plus maximum divided by 2. And another name of average, normal. Another name of average is normal. This much data if you are having, you will be able to calculate all the 5 stock levels. I am going to explain their meaning and formulas which will help you solve any question on store control. So going one by one, first level, reorder level. The meaning I have already explained. I'll still write it there. That level of stock where the fresh ordering shall be initiated. Answers to when to order. So this reorder level answers to when to order. Formulas. Safety stock plus normal lead time consumption. What is this normal lead time consumption? This is normal lead time in days multiplied by normal consumption per day. Go back to my example that I talked. What was my example? It will take 10 days to get order from Chennai. 1000 per day is consumed and 4000 they want to keep extra. 4000 plus 10 into 1000. 14,000 was my answer there. Was based on this formula only. If safety stock is not known, second formula. Maximum consumption per day multiplied by maximum reorder period in days. Reorder period, lead time, one and same thing. Maximum into maximum. That will give you reorder level. Second formula, minimum level. Minimum level technically is same as safety stock. It comes from above formula only. Reorder level minus normal lead time consumption. If my stock goes lower than minimum level, there is a possibility of stock out. I'll be facing a problem called shortage or stock out. There is some opportunity cost which is called stock out cost that will get incurred if my stock level goes lower than minimum level. Number 3, maximum level. If my stock goes above maximum level, I'll be having excessive stock, means useless carrying cost I'll be incurring. I don't want to go beyond the maximum level. The formula is very important to remember. Biggest formula in this stock levels. Reorder level plus reorder quantity minus minimum consumption per day multiplied by minimum reorder period in days. Now everywhere the days can be replaced by weeks, months, whatever. But here most important is reorder level plus reorder quantity minus minimum into minimum. Reorder quantity whenever not known, we can use EOQ in that place. In absence of information, reorder quantity is equal to EOQ. The company has a right to apply policy other than EOQ. But if nothing is given, then I assume that they are working at EOQ only. Number 4. Average level. Now very importantly, there are 3 different formulas. All the 3 can give you different answers. In exam, information is given, must compute all the 3. You should not leave anything at risk. First formula is minimum level plus maximum level whole divided by 2. That is formula 2 plus formula 3 whole divided by 2. Second, minimum level plus reorder quantity divided by 2. Only reorder quantity is divided by 2, or you can say plus half reorder quantity, one and same thing. Number 3, maximum level minus reorder quantity divided by 2. In absence of information, reorder quantity equals EOQ. Here also that is applicable. Number 5, danger level. Now this level is even below minimum level. So there is a higher probability that you are going to have stoppage of production due to deficit stock. Formula here, average consumption per day multiplied by emergency lead time in days. So if emergency lead time is not given, you will not be able to compute this. So in many questions, danger level cannot be computed. It is selective stock level, rarely computed. If you are given emergency lead time, given for this purpose only. This is the danger level that you can compute. They are all stock levels that you do in this topic. The third concept in material costing is issues control. This is something very easy, rarely comes in exams, but still you should be understanding the format which we are going to make. This topic is also known as pricing the material issues. You must have heard of these even at foundation level. There is FIFO method, LIFO method, weighted average method, and many more methods. Specific identification method, many more methods are there. We'll focus on these 3 only. What is FIFO? The name is first in, first out. The older material is to be issued first, the newer one is kept in your stock. Question gives you purchase cost, but no issue price is given. Whenever you issue, from the top you are going to issue. LIFO is reverse, last in, first out. The latest is released first, the older is kept. Old is gold and you are retaining the gold. That is a fundamental. Weighted average, you don't keep difference between the inventory. You compute total amount, total quantity, divide and get the average amount. will be more clear when you do a question on this. There has been one exam question recently on this, on LIFO and weighted average. So we will be doing that question, you will understand more. Before I reach there, I'll tell you ideals. For AS2, LIFO not allowed. FIFO allowed, weighted average allowed, specific identification allowed. In rising prices, LIFO is best. In falling prices, FIFO is best. This is for deflation. This is for inflation. If you have to ever recommend in inflation, recommend LIFO. Students often come to me with the question, sir, in our country there is inflation. Yes. Then why don't AS2 allow LIFO? Because our accounting system under AS2, it is all based on historical cost accounting. If you apply inflation adjusted accounting, the best method there is LIFO only. So try to understand, we are in a different accounting system where LIFO is not allowed. If they are fluctuating prices and even otherwise, weighted average is the best method. Weighted average is best. Now making a format for you for store ledger that we will be using while doing question on this. Stores ledger. Date, all entries to be put in a chronological order, means date by date order. Particulars, then 3 big columns with 3 sub columns each. This is receipts, issues, balance. Quantity, rate, amount. Quantity, rate, amount. Quantity, rate, amount. This is what we will practice in a proper question on the issues control from examinations. So friends, the question is November 2019 question 1A. It is on material costing purchase control concepts. Very easy starting question. It is question 1, means it is compulsory question for 5 marks in the examination. Surekha Limited produces 4000 liters of paints on a quarterly basis. Each liter requires 2 kg of raw material. The cost of placing one order for raw material is 40, purchase price is 50 per kg, storage and interest is 2% and 6% respectively. The lead time for procurement of material is 15 days. Calculate EOQ and annual inventory cost in respect of the above raw material. Now very importantly, I will start with the formula for EOQ. Economic order quantity in units is equal to under root 2ab by c, where a is equal to annual requirement of material in kgs. Now, instead of writing in units, I should write the word in kgs. Now, how much is this? 4,000 liter per quarter multiplied by 4 quarters. That will make annual production multiplied by 2 kg per liter. That will convert into material. In 1 quarter, 4,000 liter are to be produced. So, in 1 year, 16,000 liter are to be produced. For every liter, 2 kg of material is required. So, you are requiring annual 32,000 kg of material. Then comes B. Buying cost per order, also called ordering cost per order, is equal to rupees 40 per order. It is given, directly given. C is equal to carrying cost per kg annual. I need per kg, not percentage. So, this is 2% plus 6% of rupees 50 per kg. 8% of 50. It becomes rupees 4 per kg. 4 per kg. EOQ is equal to under root 2 into 32,000 into 40 divided by 4. What I get there, 2 into 32,000 into 40 divided by 4 equals under root. I am getting is 800 kg. Now, in kg I have computed. If you want, you can calculate that in rupees also. It's not desired, required there, but still I am doing for your understanding. 2 into 32,000 into 50 will make it in rupees into 40 divided by 0.08. So, what I will get is rupees 40,000. Not wanted, only done for your understanding. Second part, total annual inventory cost. Total annual inventory cost. Now, is this question involving discount policy? No. So, purchase cost is ignored, being irrelevant. I will compute only annual ordering cost and later annual carrying cost is equal to number of orders in 1 year multiplied by ordering cost per order is equal to 32,000 divided by 800, that will be number of orders, multiplied by 40 is ordering cost per order. 32,000 divided by 800. You need annual 32,000 every time they are sending you 800 kg as per EOQ. So, you are having 40 into 40. rupees 1600. Annual carrying cost. Quantity per order divided by 2 multiplied by carrying cost per unit we computed earlier. Can be done from percentages also. This is 4, 800 divided by 2, 400 into 4. This is also 1600. And let me tell you, it is not by chance. At EOQ, it will always happen that ordering and carrying cost annual are same when you are doing at EOQ. That is a mathematically proved item. So, total annual cost $1,600 plus 1,600 is equal to rupees 3,200. That is the answer. And we always ignore purchase cost whenever there is no discount policy, because discount policy will change the purchase cost. There it will become relevant. This is complete November 2019 question 1A. The question I am taking up here in material costing is November 2020 question 3 part B. It is a 10 marks question, and let me tell you, they are free 10 marks. Very, very easy 10 marks for which it has been asked. Reading for you: an automobile company purchases 27,000 spare parts for its annual requirements. Cost per order 240. Annual carrying cost 12.5%. Each spare part cost 50. At present, order size is 3,000 spare parts. So their ordering policies, every time they are asking for 3,000 parts. Assume number of days in the year 360. Find out how much company's cost will be saved by opting EOQ model. Reorder point under EOQ model if the lead time is 12 days. How frequently should orders be placed under EOQ model? So this is what we are going to solve it for. So here we go. First part wants you to compare present policy with EOQ model. So first of all, I need to calculate the economic order quantity there. I am writing ABC, you can write all the details there. Annual requirement in units given there 27,000 parts. In exam you will write properly as I did in the earlier question. A, annual requirement in units. B, buying cost per order, it is given 240 rupees. C, carrying cost per unit 12.5% of 50. Let us compute that. 50 into 12.5%. This is 6.25. Then EOQ 2 into 27,000 into 240 divided by 6.25. 2 into 27,000 into 240 divided by 6.25 equal to, then under root, I am getting is 1440 parts. Now, are they ordering at EOQ? No. So, their cost is bound to be higher. Now, what I will show you, I will show you how to make a table for comparative analysis. In earlier question, we are doing separate computation of ordering cost, carrying cost, total cost. Here I will be doing that in the form of a tabular presentation. So, very important for you to understand the tabular presentation. There are only 3 rows. You need to understand the columns and their computation. Option 1 and 2. 1 is EOQ, 2 is present. The present total cost will be higher than EOQ for sure. The difference will be saving that you could do by using the EOQ model. Quantity per order. Quantity per order. EOQ 1440 parts. What they are doing at present? 3000 parts. Average inventory in units. It is very simple. Let me name them. A, B, C, D. This is C divided by 2. How to compute C divided by 2? 720 parts. 1500 parts. Now, because you are given percentage, let me compute average inventory in rupees. This is D multiplied by 50. 720 into 50. I am getting is 36,000. 1500 into 50. What I am getting is 75,000 rupees. Annual carrying cost. This is E multiplied by 12.5%. 75,000 into 12.5%, I am getting 9375. 36,000 into 12.5%, I am getting is 4,500. Number of orders in 1 year. How to compute number of orders? It is 27,000 divided by C, which is quantity per order. 27,000 divided by 1440. 18.75. Now, somewhere your module or otherwise they approximate to 19. I will not like to do that. 27,000 divided by, this is 3,000. 9. Annual ordering cost. This is EFG H. Now this is G multiplied by per order was 240. 9 into 240. 2160. 18.75 into 240. 4,500. Total cost. This is F plus H. I have explained it at the bottom. Even if you don't explain in exam, it's okay, but you should be computing correctly. This is 9,000. This is 11,000. 9375 plus 2160. 535. So what I have taken there, I have taken the total of this and this, this and this. Now I reach conclusion. Company would save 11,535 minus 9,000, 2,535 by using EOQ model. That is the answer of part number 1. 2,535 is answer of part 1. It's not difficult, but if you present properly like this, you will get proper marks in the exam. It's a very, very easy starting question given for 10 marks. I don't know why, but it is free marks to be grabbed. Second part, reorder point. Reorder point is equal to safety stock plus normal lead time consumption. Assuming, assumption carries marks, safety stock to be 0, nil or 0. Reorder point is equal to 12 days multiplied by 27,000 divided by 360. That will give you consumption per day multiplied by 12 days. 27,000 divided by 360 is what question has told. I am not assuming. If I were assuming, I will be writing that assumption, but I am not assuming. I never assume 360 days. Let the question tell. 12 into 75. 900 parts. This is second part answer. Third part, another interesting part. How frequently should orders be placed under EOQ model? The frequency is in days. First I have computed number of orders in 1 year. I computed earlier. That is where I computed 18.75. Frequency in days equal 360 divided by 18.75. 360 divided by 18.75. This is 19.2 days. I can say in answer approximately 19 days. 19.2 days is approximately 19 days. That is the third part answer which completes this question November 2020 question 3B. Concept 3, economic batch quantity concept. Now it has similarities with economic order quantity that you do in much more detail in material costing. I am just giving you small concept and a formula. You want to find one quantity that should be produced every time the production is done so that your total cost of carrying and setup is minimum. There are two types of cost. They are of opposite nature. Identify which cost I am talking. I am writing here. Cost 1. I will be giving you a formula which will do this trick. But first understand the basics. After doing material, you get much more detailed experience. But here I am telling you just the basics. Cost 1 is carrying cost of the product. This is output. Cost 2, setup cost. Try to understand what these are and how they are opposite to each other. Try to understand with one example. Let us say I am producing fruit juice, sugarcane juice, orange juice, whatever. Any one product you can take an example. If I am making sugarcane juice, I am making with the help of that machine which is there. The machine is run on some fuel. Every time I start, I have to wash the utensil in which juice will be collected. Big utensil I'm having, maybe I can get there 50 liters. The machine is going to consume more fuel as I switch it on. So for every setup, let us say I am incurring cost of 500 rupees. And if I create some juice when customer is not there, in advance I create the juice, I'll have to store it. There is a carrying cost there. There is a carrying cost there. Let us say in 1 hour or 2 hours, I am expecting 50 liter will be sold. Before I start selling, what I can do, I'll do startup and create 50 liter of juice. In one setup, by only incurring those 500 rupees, I am able to create the 50 liter of output. Very less setup cost, but till the time customer comes, I'll have to have carrying cost. My carrying cost will be huge. If in the morning I create all the production for the day, 500 liters, setup cost is very less because in one time I am able to produce it. But carrying cost is too huge. On the other hand, whenever a customer comes, I create fresh juice. I switch on the machine, I wash the utensil, then I create the juice. There is no carrying cost. As customer comes, I create the juice, I give him the juice, nothing to carry. But setup cost is huge. Every time customer comes, I switch it on, I wash the utensil, I am incurring whatever 500 rupees or something. Not good. So if cost 1 is high, cost 2 is low. If cost 1 is low, cost 2 is high. They are cost of opposite nature. What a good cost accountant needs? Minimum total cost. So they have identified a formula for this. Economic batch quantity. EBQ is equal to under root 2AS divided by C. Now derivation of this is also available that I do in the material costing chapter, similar to this. I am not doing any derivation, you have to just remember the formula where A is equal to annual requirement of output in units, S is equal to setup cost per setup. Setup is also called production run. So setup cost per production run is also correct. C is carrying cost per unit annual. Basically, the periodicity should match. Either both are monthly or both are annual or both are weekly. Both have to be at same level. If it is given monthly, 2 rupees per unit, annual will be 24 per unit. Multiply 12, you will get 24. So this is the formula to apply to get economic batch quantity. In every setup, how many units should you produce so that your total cost of setup and carrying is minimal? This is the formula applicable. The more confidence you get after doing material costing. Here it is only some highlights you will be getting. This is concept number 3. The next question is of economic batch quantity. It is similar to EOQ concept but relates to product. As I have explained earlier, the two costs of different nature are setup cost per production run and carrying cost of the product, and A is annual production, annual demand of product. It's not requirement of material. The basics of two concepts are exactly same. That is why we are doing in this lecture, this particular question. So I'm reading for you. GHI Limited manufactures stent that is used by hospital in heart surgery as per estimates provided by Pharmaceutical Industry Bureau. This demand of 40 million stents in coming year. GHI is expected to have market share of 2.5% of total market demand in the coming year. So their market demand you can get 40 million into 2.5%. It is estimated it costs 1.50 as inventory holding cost per stent per month. Underline that word per month. Because requirement we were studying annual, here it is per month. It was written 40 million stents in the coming year. Here it is per month. It has to be converted into year. Multiply by 12. 1.50 multiplied by 12. Setup cost per run of stent manufacture is 225. Setup cost is given at 225. What should be optimum run size? He is wanting economic batch quantity here. So I'll write the formula in detail and then do it. First part I am doing economic batch quantity is equal to under root 2 AS divided by C, where A is equal to annual demand of the product is equal to 2.5% of 40 million stents. $40 million into 2.5%, it becomes 10 lakh. S is equal to setup cost per production run. S is equal to setup cost per production run. It is rupees 225 given. C is equal to carrying cost per unit, the bracket is very important, annual, is equal to 1.50 per month multiplied by 12 months is equal to rupees 18. So EBQ, economic batch quantity, is equal to under root of 2 into 10 lakh into 225 divided by 18. 2 into 10 lakh into 225 divided by 18 equals under root 5,000 stents. So if you are producing every time 5,000 stents, you will be having optimal run size. Your total annual cost of setup as well as carrying will be minimized if you are producing every time 5,000 stents. Second part, minimum inventory holding cost. He wants to ask at the optimum level what is the inventory holding cost. Holding means carrying. So annual carrying cost here is equal to 5,000 divided by 2 multiplied by 18. This is 2500 into 18. This is rupees 45,000. Third part. Again, there is a comparison. I'm going to make a table as I explained earlier in one EOQ question. So try to focus on all the data there. Assume that company has policy of manufacturing 4,000 stand per run. How much extra cost company would be incurring as compared to optimum run as suggested in one above. Let us make a proper table again in the same manner. This is option 1. Option 1 is EBQ. This is policy. Quantity per run. EBQ is 5,000. Policy says 4,000. Average inventory instants 2500, 2000. Let me do that way also. D is C by 2. Annual carrying cost per unit was 18. D into 18. We computed 45,000. 36,000. Number of setups in 1 year. This is 10 lakh divided by C. Divide by 5,000. This is 200, and if I divide by 400, then it is 4,000. Sorry, 10 lakh divided by 4,000. 250. Annual setup cost. It is 225 per setup. 56 250. 225 multiplied by F. G H. Total cost E plus G. 90,000. 36,000. 92,250. So what does question want? Extra cost. Extra cost by not following EBQ is 92,250 minus 90,000 is equal to rupees 2,250 in 1 year. That is the answer. That is a complete question, very much related to EOQ, but still on a different concept of economic batch quantity. So friends, I'm starting with this question on the issues control concept. It's a very simple question, little lengthy, because you have to make store ledger in detail under two methods. And lots of transactions are there. You have to do it very carefully, and then he will be asking you about closing inventory value and consumption value. For that, we will talk in next part separately, the consumption formula. I read the question and go with the first part. I have created the format of store ledger. You can also follow the same. Date, particulars. In particulars, I will be writing goods received note, GRN number dash dash when there is purchase. MRN, material requisition note number, when there is issue. Material return note, when there is return to the supplier. Material lost note, when there is some loss. So these things I will be writing in particular. Number is not there with me, so I will be writing dash dash. Receipts, issues, balance, all will have quantity, rate, amount. Quantity, rate, amount. Quantity, rate, amount. The good thing in weighted average method, it will consume one row for every transaction, not more than one row. When we do LIFO method later, there will be two types of stocks, three types of stocks, so it will consume more rows in that. So I start with that. You are given at the bottom of table opening stock. You must start with opening stock. So I am starting with opening stock, which is on 1st April 2019. Opening stock. The opening stock does not come in receipt or issue, because receipt it was for last month or last period. Now it is only in the balance column I am going to record. 1000, 15, 15,000. Opening stock does not come in receipt or issue, it comes only in balance. Then first transaction is 4th April. Purchase. I told you when purchase will come, I will write GRN dash dash. At the bottom you can explain GRN is goods received note. For every purchase there is GRN. 3,000, 16 rate, 48,000. Simple thing for weighted average. Add quantity in quantity, amount in amount. Write in balances and then divide to get average rate. So simple, 4,000 quantity and 48,000 plus 15,000, that is 63,000 amount. Now 63,000 divide by 4,000 is rate. 15.75 is the rate. Whenever you are purchasing, the rate may keep on changing. At the time of issue, it does not. For returns also, it might change. But for other issues, the rate will not change. You can check next. 8th April. What you are having? Issue. MRN. At the bottom, you can explain it is material requisition note. Number is not given to us. 1,000 issued at 15.75. You are left with 3,000 at 15.75. In issue, the rate is not changing. 47,250. 15th April. It is all in chronological order, given date by date, so you will be doing like that. If it is given haphazard manner, you have to create it in day-to-day basis, day by day basis. Purchase, GRN number, 1500, rate is 18. $27,000. Add quantity in quantity, amount in amount. What I am getting is 74,250. Divide by 4,500. I get 16.50. This is done. 20th April. It is clerical question, can be very lengthy but is very easy. Not difficult but can be irritating in exam because it is quite lengthy. Especially when you have to make two store ledger along with some consumption to be computed later on. 20th April, you are issuing MRN number. 1200. 16.50 is the prevalent rate. 19,800, 3,300, 16.5. What you get is 54,450. 54,450. April 25 is special entry. 25th April 19. Material return note. It is not requisition note, it is return note. So can't call it MRN. It is material return note, which is different than requisition note. Will go to issue only. It is 300 and it is out of 15th April purchase, which was at 18 rupees. Now be very sure, quantity deducted from quantity, amount deducted from amount. 54,450 minus 5,400, because rate is bound to change now. 49,050 divided by 3,000. 16.35. If it was not known that which one is getting returned, when did you purchase it, then I would have taken 16.5 in the issue. But when specifically you are given that it is out of 15th April purchase, it was purchased at 18, so I'll return at 18 only. 26th April, MRN 1000, prevalent rate 16.35, 16,350, 2000, 16.35, 32,700, 32,700. Next purchase, 28th April, GRN 500 at 17. I think it is 8,500, 2,500, 41,200 divide by 2,500. 16.48. 16.48. At the bottom, on 30th April, it was found 50 kg of material was fraudulently misappropriated by store assistant and never recovered by company. If there is any abnormal loss, you put a normal issue entry and cost you find here goes to costing P&L. So it is abnormal loss. Misappropriation is abnormal loss. 30th April 19, material loss note. It is 50 kg, 16.48 per kg. 824. Balance is 2450. Rate does not change because I have issued at same rate. 16.48 multiplied by 2450. 40,376. This is the closing stock that you should remember. Question in B part will, in second part will ask you closing stock also. This is what we have computed, 40,376. I hope this much is clear. I am going to repeat all these transactions under LIFO method. So I will create another same type of format. I can carry these lines further. Same format under LIFO. Date particulars, received quantity, receipt rate, receipt amount, issue quantity, issue rate, issue amount, balance quantity, balance rate, balance amount. What I am doing is under LIFO method, store ledger I am making. This is part 1B. So, I will be reaching all the items again date by date. On 1st April, only balance 15,000. As I told you earlier, now more rows will be used because there will be 2 types of stock, 3 types of stock. Bottom one is issued, the upper one is kept safe. Old is gold under LIFO. 4th April, GRN 3,016, 48,000. How to write balance? 2 rows and do not add till the last day. 3,016, 48,000. Now this date is complete. So I am using more rows within same date. 8th April. MRN issued 1,000. 1,000 which one? 15 or 16? It is LIFO 16. I am left with 1,015, 2,016. Never add till last day. I don't require total stock amount on every day. In your computer, it might be computed already, but not in case of this. Then, 15th April, GRN 1,518, 27,000. Now I am having 3 types of stock. 1,015, 2,016, 1,518. Twentieth April. 1,200. Which one? 18. LIFO out of bottom you will issue. 21,600 issued. 3 types of stock. Last one is 300 only, which is 5,400 amount. This is 20th April. I will extend all the columns because I need them till the end. So 20th April is done. 25th April. Return material, return note. 300 units returned of 18 each. 5,400 gone. Now you are left with 2 categories only. 1,000 2,000, 15, 16, 15,000, 32,000. 25th April is gone. 26th April issue. Issue how much? 1,000. Which one? 16. Left 1,000, 1,000. 15,000, 16,000. 28th April. GRN. 500, 17, 8,500. Now 3 types of stock now. 1,000, 1,000, 15, 16, 500, 17, 15,000, 16,000, 8,500. 30th April. We are reaching last transaction there. Material lost note. This is 50 kg out of 17, 850, 1,000, 1,000, 450, 15, 16, 17. 450 into 17 makes 7650 at bottom, 15,000, 16,000. Now you must total 2450, 38,650. That is going to be my ultimate answer of value of closing stock. Now I have completed first 2 stores ledgers. My part 1 is complete, means you have earned 5 marks after doing this much. I need to do second part in which I will compute material consumed and closing stock already computed. I will be writing there. So I write there a table. Part 2. Weighted average method and LIFO method. Opening stock plus purchases minus returns minus loss minus closing stock, that will be consumed. The opening stock was there in both the methods, 15,000, 15,000. Purchases, I can total the purchase receipt amount and that will be same under both the methods. 48,000, 27,000, 8,500. I think only 3 purchases there. 1, 2, 3. Yes. 83,500. Same in both cases. Returns were 5,400. Same under both the cases. 5,400. Bracket. Loss, value of loss was different in both the cases. 824, 850. And closing stock totally different, due to which consumption is bound to be different. 40376, 38650. Let's do the computation, you will get consumption. $51,900. 15,000, 83,500 minus 5,400 minus 850 minus 38650, 53,600. 53,600. Now you can see consumption under both the cases is different due to different loss and closing stock, more importantly. And answer of closing stock 43,376, 38650. This is complete question on issues control in material costing.